Listen, before you scroll, I want you to picture this. A quiet janitor pushing a mop down a military hangar floor. Nobody noticed him. Nobody even looked at him. But on the day all hope was gone, when even the Navy SEALs believed everything was lost, the sky began to tremble, and his A-10 Warthog screamed over the ridge. Before we get into this story, if you love emotional military hero stories like this, please like this video and subscribe. It helps more people hear stories that deserve to be told. Now, let's begin. Marcus Hale was a single father of one daughter, Lily, just 8 years old. His wife had passed when Lily was only a baby. The military world once knew him as Captain Marcus Hammer Hale, the A-10 pilot who could fly through smoke so thick you couldn't see your own hands. He had saved lives, many. He had scars, inside and out. But after he lost his wingman, his best friend, in a mission overseas, something inside Marcus broke. He left the Air Force quietly. No ceremony. No speeches. No medals pinned on a chest he didn't feel worthy of. He worked small jobs to stay close to Lily. Eventually, he found a janitorial position at a Joint Forces base, sweeping the same hangars where pilots laughed and ran missions he once led. The SEALs stationed there sometimes joked around him. "Hey old timer, you missed a spot. Bet he's never even seen a cockpit." Marcus didn't argue. He didn't defend himself. He just smiled sadly and kept working. Because bitterness was a luxury he couldn't afford, Lily needed peace, not a broken father. But one man did notice him. Commander James Rowan, legendary Navy SEAL leader. A man who had seen death too closely to judge anyone. He saw the way Marcus cleaned each aircraft part with the same care a surgeon handles a beating heart. He saw the way Marcus looked at the runway like an old song he couldn't bear to play. One night, Rowan asked quietly, "You ever fly?" Marcus paused, then whispered, "Once." Rowan didn't push, but he knew. Then came the day everything changed. A humanitarian convoy transporting children and civilians was attacked deep in a mountain valley. An enemy force, heavily armed, had surrounded them. A team of Navy SEALs tried to hold the line, but the enemy had the high ground, drones, heavy machine guns. They were pinned, and Rowan was with them. The radio back at the base was chaos. They needed air support. They needed someone in the sky. But every pilot was either out on a mission, or too far away to make it in time. The operations officer slammed his fist. "We can't get anyone there before they're overrun." The room went silent. And then, someone spoke. A voice soft, steady, familiar. "I can." Everyone turned. Marcus stood there, keys to the maintenance bay clipped at his belt, eyes clear for the first time in years. "You." A young pilot laughed. "No offense, but you're a Jan." Rowan's voice cut through the radio speaker, weak, static-filled. "If Hammer is there, let him fly." Every eye widened. Hammer. This janitor was that Hammer. The A-10 sat fueled. Prepped. Maintenance perfect, because Marcus himself had cared for her every night. The operations officer hesitated only a second. "Get him in the air." Marcus didn't swagger. Didn't make a speech. He climbed into the cockpit like a man returning home. His hands instinctively found every switch, every system, every vibration of the engine. When the A-10 roared to life, mechanics stopped working. Pilots turned their heads, and the base fell into silent awe. Then he lifted into the sky. Down in the valley, the SEALs were nearly out of ammunition. Rowan had been hit. The convoy children cried as bullets shattered the rocks around them. And then, a sound. Not thunder, but something deeper, heavier, like the growl of a steel beast. The enemy fighters looked up. And the A-10 Warthog burst over the ridge like a monster reborn, its engines screaming across the mountains. The Gatling cannon tore through enemy armor. Convoy vehicles were shielded. SEALs regained position. Hope returned like fire in winter. Rowan looked up through blood and dust and tears. "Hammer, I knew you'd fly again." Marcus didn't speak. He didn't need to. He just kept protecting them. Again, and again, and again. Until the valley was silent. When Marcus landed, the base lined up, not because they were ordered, but because the heart knows what respect is. The young pilot who mocked him stood frozen. Rowan, bandaged, walked up and whispered, "You didn't quit. You just needed a reason to fly again." Lily ran to him, arms around his waist. "Daddy, you looked like an angel." Marcus knelt and kissed her forehead. "No, sweetheart. I was just a dad making sure everyone got home to theirs. So if you're still listening, remember this. A uniform doesn't make a hero. A rank doesn't make a warrior. And scars don't mean broken, they mean you survived. And sometimes, the strongest ones are the ones everyone overlooks. If this story touched your heart, please like this video and subscribe. More people need stories where courage comes from unexpected places. Thank you for being here. Stay strong, stay kind, and never count someone out. Because you never know when their wings are just waiting to rise again.